Hello and welcome to this season's quarterly news round.
In this episode, we will cover 1094 Squadron's events in the last 3 months, ranging from local to national.
We will include information about recent ceremonies, camps and courses, while also giving you a unique insight into life as a Royal Air Force Air Cadet.
And finally, we will give you a brief overview of upcoming events.
April started very busily, with 25 new recruits joining us, a wing camp and a national camp.
I was one of the 12 cadets and 2 staff members from our squadron to take part in the Bedfordshire and Cambridgeshire Wing Easter Camp in April. Over the course of our week away, we enjoyed activities such as marksmanship training, water sports and a special night exercise. This exercise included being in the field for over 30 hours, completing a series of tasks ranging from code breaking to reconnaissance missions. We also had to patrol and defend our given harbour area. Some cadets were given the privilege of a flight in a Chinook helicopter, which for many was the highlight of the week. Overall, it was a brilliant camp and a fantastic way to spend our Easter holiday.
During the following week, I attended National Choir Camp after being selected to be part of the National Air Cadet Choir. The choir is made up of 30 cadets of all ages and from across the United Kingdom. During the camp, the choir attended daily rehearsals with the Director of Music, Flight Lieutenant Ben Richards, and learned 8 songs over the course of the week. The camp also included a tour of the College Hall Officers' Mess at RAF Cranwell, which had wonderful art displays depicting the history of the RAF, and a visit to Lincoln Cathedral. The choir will be performing at Lincoln Cathedral with the National Concert, Strings and Marching Band of the RAF Air Cadets on the 19th of August. See the description for a link to buy the tickets for the event.
10 cadets improved their air rifle shooting skills at 2461 Sawston Squadron. Several advanced marksman awards were achieved over the weekend course.
Other achievements in March and April included Bronze and Silver Cyber, Blue Leadership, Bronze Road Marching and Leading Classification.
Later in April, the squadron took a trip to the RF Museum at Hendon. Here's Cadet Sophie Case Upton for more information about the visit.
Hi, I'm Cadet Case Upton and I'm here to talk about my experience in RF Hendon Museum in London. Once we first got there, we were greeted with a hurricane, which is right at the start of the gate. When we went into the first hangar, we got greeted with a whole load of hats, which were just on like a stand from different eras of the RAF. There was this model aircraft made of different bits of stationery and things that you'd find lying around the house, and I thought that was really interesting how they put it all together and made a plane. About the trip, I enjoyed walking around the museum with my fellow friends from 1094 Ely Sqn. There were 4 hangars with plenty of different planes and they were from different eras of history. The different eras were World War I, World War II, the Cold War and modern day aircraft. I'd 100% recommend this trip to other people. We learned so much about the different aircrafts through the eras and I had a lovely time socialising with other cadets from my squadron.
Towards the end of April, 15 of our cadets were given the opportunity to learn water sports with trained Cadet Forces adult volunteers on kayaks and stand-up paddleboards. We geared up in buoyancy aids and helmets and were given a full safety brief. We spent around an hour and a half each on the kayak and stand-up paddleboard and had a fantastic time on both. It was a tiring but extremely fun day with lots of cadets leaving having learned something new.
On the 6th of May 2023, we celebrated the coronation of King Charles III. The following Thursday, the squadron paraded in our ceremonial light blue uniform to commemorate his coronation. All enrolled cadets then swore allegiance to the new king by making their cadet promise once again. This was a highly significant event for the squadron and all RAF Air Cadets, and we were proud to be part of the celebrations.
Cadet Warrant Officer James Munday attended Buckingham Palace to be awarded his Gold Duke of Edinburgh's Award by Prince Edward. Here he is now for more information about the Duke of Edinburgh's award scheme and his own experience.
Hi, I'm Cadet Warrant Officer Munday and I'm here to talk about DOV. I completed my Gold DOV expedition in August last year. So my Gold DOV expedition was slightly different from previous ones. It was a lot steeper elevation. We had to climb Snowdon on day 2, so that was about 1,000-metre elevation. It also was more challenging terrain, a bit more rocky, a bit more slippery. For my residential, I went to Cumulus Outdoors, which is in the Jurassic Coast at Swanage. On the residential, we got to do numerous fun activities. We got to do walks along the Jurassic Coast, we got to go caving, we got to go swimming in the sea as well. So for completing your Gold DOV, you are invited to go to Buckingham Palace to accept your award. While I was at the palace, I got invited to walk around the gardens, have a look at the vegetation there, and also have some tea and cakes which were provided to us. At the palace, I got to meet various important people. I got to meet Air Commodore Tony Keeling, who's in charge of the Royal Air Force Air Cadets. I also met Prince Edward, who gave us a motivational speech and then went around meeting some of the civilians there. If you have aspirations to get your gold DV, you need to have the drive and commitment to keep going at it, even if it does suck, and just persevere until you do finally achieve it.
24 cadets were selected to attend as a guard of honour for the mayor-making ceremony in Ely. These cadets then featured in local newspapers and were highly commended by the mayor and other local dignitaries in attendance.
The recruit flight had been undergoing their basic classification and drill training. Taught by the squadron's non-commissioned officers, the recruits have progressed through their introduction to the Air Cadets swiftly and will have been enrolled into the Air Training Corps before the release of this video.
4 cadets went flying for the first time at 7 Air Experience Flight, based at RAF Cranwell. The cadets had previously undertaken ground school synthetic flying lessons on the squadron's flying simulator, which was donated by the Flight Simulator Centre Sim2Do.
Gliding opportunities at 644 Volunteer Gliding Squadron came later that month. Cadet Noah Deal was one of the cadets who had this unique experience. Here he is for more details about his flight.
I'm Cadet Deal and I'm going to talk about gliding. I went to 644 Volunteer Gliding Squadron. So first we did the prep on the ground. So we put on the parachutes and got weighed to see if we went in the front seat of the Viking or the back seat.
What kind of tasks did you complete on the ground?
So all of the staff were attaching the cables, and then once that was done, to send them up, we had to hold the wings steady and then run with them until they were lifted out of our hands and got in the air. So I got to fly about midway through the day. I got up into the air with the winch and we ran through the control surfaces, starting with the elevators, then the ailerons, then finally the rudder. So I followed the pilot through on all of the control surfaces. I even did some thermaling, which is where you fly around a hot part of the ground so you can generate a bit more lift and stay in the air longer. I definitely recommend gliding to other cadets because it's a great experience to finally get up into the air and learn about all the different control surfaces and how you actually fly in cadets. My favourite part of the flight was taking off because of the acceleration you felt. It was really exhilarating and I enjoyed it so much.
2 cadets achieved their Silver Communications Award after completing an in-depth 4-day-long course. It involved learning how to control radio networks, being given a personal call sign for radio usage in the UK, and talking to people through the radio across the country.
Over the bank holiday weekend, I undertook a Silver Duke of Edinburgh's Award expedition with 3 other 1094 cadets and 2 from other squadrons across Eastern Sector of Bedfordshire and Cambridgeshire Wing. It entailed 3 days of walking, cooking and camping. During the expedition, we carried everything we needed with no assistance, including food, tents and clothes. This was a tough test of physical and mental endurance and we were very proud to have completed it.
I travelled to RAF Bulmer for a week-long camp. It was filled with activities, including visits to the base fire station, interviews with RAF personnel, and a trip to the RAF Spade Adam, the largest RAF base of 9,600 acres. Many cadets achieved their Bronze Cyber qualification, and we were given an eye-opening lesson on Aspire, which is a sub-organisation within the Air Cadets for Diversity and Inclusion. It was a brilliant week away and a great way to make new friends around the Corps.
3 1094 cadets attended the adventure training camp at the National Air Cadet Adventure Training Centre in Fairbourne. One cadet remarked on the amazing experience they had while enjoying the scenery on an 8-kilometre walk up Mount Snowdon.
Cadet Warrant Officer James Munday was appointed the Lord Lieutenant's Cadet for Cambridgeshire for 2023 and 2024. He will attend all royal visits within the county for the next year. This is a fantastic achievement for the Cadet Warrant Officer and for the squadron.
Central and East Region Athletics competition took place on the 10th of July. This involved all 7 wings in our region competing in various forms of athletics at Grantham Stadium.
Corporal Monday, Cadet Case Upton, Cadet Elstow, Cadet Phillips and myself were a part of the Bedfordshire and Cambridgeshire Wing Athletics team and participated in events such as discus, 100-metre sprint and high jump.
Myself and 4 other 1094 cadets were selected for training on the L144A1 small bore rifle. All cadets passed their weapons handling test, which assessed their ability to shoot and maintain the rifle. The next day we participated in more marksmanship training and achieved our trained shot badge.
The RAF Air Cadet Muster at RAF Benson was an unforgettable experience. It was a great insight into the RAF and a wonderful social event as over 2,000 cadets from the Air Training Corps and Combined Cadet Force attended. 942 of these cadets were given the opportunity to fly in a Chinook helicopter. Flight Lieutenant John Donoghue, the officer commanding 1094 Squadron, remarked that the air show was completely unique as it had flown directly from the trooping of the Colour Parade in London. Flight Lieutenant Donoghue also emphasised the rarity of the Lancaster flypast as there were only 2 of these aircraft able to fly.
Armed Forces Day on the 24th of June was a spectacular event. The whole squadron paraded in celebration of the UK's military personnel, and many of the public remarked on how professional the cadets conducted themselves.
In addition to this, the squadron collected the keys to the city of Ely and was officially given freedom of the city. This is an incredible achievement and demonstrates the level of commitment our cadets have to our local area and city. In July, our squadron competed with 26 other squadrons in our wing at Wingfield Day. Drill, first aid, ensemble, aircraft recognition and leadership are some of the areas that our team of 17 cadets competed in.
Finally, an outlook on the next few months here at 1094 Squadron. Training on the L98 General Purpose Rifle will be held in the summer, as well as more courses on Silver Communications and the Air Cadet Leadership course.
The squadron has guaranteed 3 places on the National Drill and Ceremonial Camp this year.
The RAF Air Cadets Festival of Music will take place on the 19th of August at Lincoln Cathedral. This includes performances from the National Choir, Concert Band and String Ensemble of the Air Cadets. Tickets are on sale now and the link to purchase them is in the description.
And of course, the squadron will be running many fun events over the summer, including our Fieldcraft Weekend, sports activities, social events and day visits to places of interest.
That concludes this episode of 1094 Squadron's Quarterly News Round. Thank you all very much for watching.